Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams. As we continue celebrating the season of gift giving, we have a wonderful show wrapped up just for you. Keep watching to see us dive into a round-table discussion on whether there's a difference between being religious and being spiritual. The symbiotic relationship between agriculture and mining will also be explored. And there are tips for parents on how to keep their children engaged at home, especially during the school break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the news.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Friday, December 27, 2024. Government will be exploring ways to help Jamaicans who have suffered roof damage following months of frequent rainfall. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement during his Christmas Day message to the nation.
As I move about the country, aside from road repairs, the most frequent request I get is for assistance with housing repair, mainly roofing. While we will not be able to assist every private dwelling, we will be examining ways in which we can quickly assist those households most in need of roofing repairs.
The Prime Minister also revealed that the government would be designing and developing a program to help Jamaicans adapt to and mitigate the impacts of climate change. Jamaica and the Dominican Republic have signed a landmark air services agreement aimed at enhancing connectivity, promoting trade and tourism, bolstering security, and improving the efficiency of air transport between the two nations. The agreement was signed by Jamaica's Transport Minister Darrell Vaz and the DOMREP's Foreign Minister Roberto Alvarez. It aligns with the principles of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, also known as the Chicago Convention. The agreement includes key provisions such as overflight and landing rights, non-scheduled and multi-destination air transport, and robust safety measures to ensure compliance with international standards. In other regional air travel news, non-stop flights are now being offered from Antigua and Barbuda to Jamaica after Liat 20 launched the service recently. The airline is now providing direct services on this route every Friday. Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston is the first in the Northern Caribbean to welcome the airline, which now serves a total of 11 destinations across the region. Chief Executive Officer of PAC Kingston Airport Limited, Sitara English Byfield, says Liat 20 is set to play a key role in reducing travel times across the Caribbean.
This milestone is not just a testament to the strategic role Kingston Airport plays in regional aviation, but also a reflection of the growing confidence in our facilities, service, and our commitment to the region. Liat 20, a new innovative airline dedicated to enhancing Caribbean connectivity, offering reliable service that focuses on the unique needs of travelers within the region.
215 individuals have so far been recruited for the Agricultural Wardens Program, one of the main initiatives aimed at tackling predial larceny across the island. Head of the Predial Larceny Prevention Coordination Unit, Superintendent Oral Pasco, gave the update during a recent press briefing at the Ministry of Agriculture. He confirms that 164 recruits have passed to the JCF's internal exams, which are the same as those taken by regular police officers to ensure consistent standards for all participants in the program.
The training program is supposed to be at least 12 weeks, and I can tell that is very significant of intensive training. We have oversubscribed the first 100 to start January next fiscal year. We're supposed to start in April, the first month, and then we go to July. So we're expecting about 200 persons.
Recruitment for the Agricultural Wardens Program continues, with efforts focused on St. Mary, Portland, and St. Thomas, and plans to cover the entire island. Training is set to begin in January 2025, with a goal of deploying 200 boots on the ground in addition to police support. And finally, Banks have been urged to step up their efforts to ensure reliable automated teller machine ATM services as the holiday season continues. The call comes from the Consumer Affairs Commission CAC amidst reports by the Bank of Jamaica that some financial institutions are still falling short of the 90% service standard requirement for ATM facilities.
We want to encourage our banks to ensure that the ATMs are stocked, they are serviced regularly, to ensure that consumers who we know will be out and about, and there will be a tremendous increase in circulation of cash, that our consumers will be able to easily withdraw monies so that they can facilitate their business.
The Commission's Director of Communications was speaking at a recent JS think tank. The CAC, which is an agency within the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, is tasked with enforcing the Consumer Protection Act and facilitating ethical behavior in the marketplace between vendors and consumers. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for staying with us. This season often raises many questions, one of the biggest being about spiritual life. Can someone be spiritual without being religious, or vice versa? The answer coming up next.
Spiritual is just natural thing, but religious thing, a man create religion. But spirituality are from before creation, I bring man and woman together, spiritual connection. But religion a man-made thing. It cause war all over the world,
Take a walk out a halfway tree if you want to see suffering.
Welcome to the start of another He Says, She Says series, where we express our perspectives on topics such as relationships, workplace habits, careers, and other issues, more frequently discussed in silos, but we are now bringing to the forefront. Joining us today are Reverend Winston Peku, Chairman and Chaplain of the Frankfield Primary School Board, and the resident pastor for the Frankfield and Grantham Circuit of Churches of the Church of God in Jamaica, business owner Adermi Mitchell, and Region 6 President for the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, Avina Henry. All right, so the question is there a distinction between being religious and being spiritual? Rev, I want to start with you.
Even though the two words are used interchangeable at times, there are distinctions. As I said earlier on, religion is institutionalized. Yes, it is community and tradition, it is doctrines and dogma, while spirituality is an individual thing. And as our brother said that, sometimes you don't really want to go, but as it might not go to church, but you're spiritual, that you have to keep the relationship with God going. So it's an individual thing in your spiritualized way.
All right, so how do you make that distinction and even choose your own spiritual or religious path? That's a question I want to ask.
You see, it's based again upon information, what you have heard. Because you don't know about God. You can't know about God unless you hear about Him.
Or read about it.
Or read about Him. So you read, you hear, and it is your reading and hearing that will direct you. And you see, what you hear and what I hear, we can hear the same thing but come to the different conclusion based on nurture and environment. Because you see we live in Jamaica and you see we live in our world. Many people are hearing the same gospel every day but respond differently to it. So it is you who decide how you go about it. You see, if you open up and allow the Holy Spirit to direct you, then you can't go wrong.
All right, so my final question I want to throw out, is it important to focus on spirituality? Avina, I want to bring you in right here.
I want to say yes, it is very important. And for that, I'm sitting here and I'm listening. And you have to be careful of the religion you're a part of. Because, you know, religion can be good and it can be bad. It depends on the type, because in our religion, as he talks about, there are different ethics, there are laws, there are things that you're supposed to do in some of them. So as individuals, we have to be careful of the religion that we're a part of that will not lead us down to destruction. So I will now answer your question about spirituality, that it is important for us to pay attention to the spiritual parts of our lives and be connected to the right source that will lead us to do good, to be one another's keeper, and to be a positive influence in our society. So yes, we should pay attention to our spiritual part of our lives.
And I say to that man is a spirit. He lives in a body and he has a soul.
All right, so I want to ask another question. Does choosing a religious path create division among people? Because remember, we are relational beings and not everybody may choose the same path. But does it create division? And then what advice would you give on a person looking to choose their spiritual journey?
That, and I balance it again. History is replete that religion has caused a lot of war. There's no hiding, there's no going around, but there's no dismissing that. But also, history is replete that religion has caused a lot of peace. So one has to be careful. You notice what is happening in the Middle East between Israel and all of those things, the Arab against the Jews and all of those things. That is also a religious war. So you see that religion does bring war. And even the church, if you do church history and at all, there was an East and the West church, and there was a time when once you mentioned earlier on about, you know, evangelism and all those things, people was usually called some people witches, and they would have killed them. The church did that, you know, because they were of a different religion. But if you follow Jesus, that is, as you said, we have to care for the religion. Many people take religion, and religion leads to a different way, but Jesus is the only way to God.
So Adermi, I want to bring you in right here. What advice would you give to somebody trying to decide their spiritual journey?
My advice to anyone that is trying to decide which spiritual journey or which religion they want to get into, at the end of the day, that we are all human beings, right? So treat our brothers and sisters the same way how you like to be treated.
Okay, Avina, you're as a counselor, what advice would you give somebody that is looking to decide on that spiritual journey?
I will send them to go and read the holy words. When you read the words and you leave self out of it and allow God himself to lead you, you will get the answer. You will find the answer because you'll be guided by the Holy Spirit. Even in counseling, you have to have Christian counseling because you will not be successful. You cannot be successful unless the Spirit of the Lord is present. You will not get the results that you need.
All right, to help our people, what advice would you give someone embarking on a spiritual journey? I want to start with Adermi.
That's for anyone who's embarking on a spiritual journey, as our commander says, in terms of, you know, you have to have people that are around you to help you, support you with that spiritual journey. Because it's evil and good is real. That's how we can put it as. So you want good people around you to help form you and guide you along that way.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. That's a perfect way to end. And that's where we end our He Says, She Says conversation. Stay tuned for more. Our guests were Reverend Winston Peku, Avina Henry, and Adermi Mitchell. Thanks for watching. I'm Andre Palmer. Take care.
Mining and agriculture are often seen as separate industries, but in reality, they share a complex and symbiotic relationship. Both sectors play crucial roles in the economy, and when managed properly, they can support and enhance each other. Our next feature will provide some insights.
The mining community is here to support agriculture, and as much as is possible, we do want all who are interested in getting reclaimed lands, accessing repurposed bauxite assets, including lease spaces in our warehouses, to just reach out to us.
The Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited, JBM, is more than just a legacy operation. Established in 1975, JBM has been a cornerstone of Jamaican industry and commerce, and it still plays a pivotal role in the symbiotic relationship between mining and agriculture.
There's a systematic way of dealing with mining, where from the onset there are methodologies that are done to ensure that there is responsibility of miners in ensuring that there is resilience after mining has taken place. That's from the first tier. The second tier is actually the mining tier, where we actually have many minerals that are extracted from the earth that are essential in putting together things like fertilizers. Many people don't know this. There are actually minerals that are also essential for planting certain crops. So here we have the display indicating that to the public so that the public can be educated along that line. And then at the final tier, we actually have the repurposing, the reclamation and repurposing of bauxite lands, of mining lands, to actually benefit the agricultural sector. You might already know of things like greenhouses that have been put up on reclaimed land. We have many technologies that have been effected to actually make agriculture super resilient on mined-out property.
The Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited is a government-owned company with a business enterprise mandate. In addition to being the custodian of over 4,000 acres of government properties in St. Ann, JBM monitors the operations of Discovery Bauxite Partners, a mining operation based in Discovery Bay, St. Ann. The story of this public body is one of innovation, responsibility, and a deep commitment to the future of both mining and agriculture on the island.
Mining is from the earth, agriculture is from the earth. Mining community is here to support agriculture, and as much as is possible, we do want all who are interested in getting reclaimed lands, accessing repurposed bauxite assets, including lease spaces in our warehouses, to just reach out to us using our website www.jbm.gov.jm.
It's very important that we all take care of our mental health. Good mental health, mental wellness impacts on and will affect how we live within our family, interact with family members. When we enjoy good mental wellness, it impacts on how we function in school, function at the workplace, relate to members in our community, members at church, and the wider society. So it's very important for us to enjoy mental wellness. there are some important things that we need to do. First of all, take care of ourselves. Self-care is important. It's also important for us to establish high value, healthy social connections. Yes? What we find is that people who live longer, live healthier on a daily basis are people who invest in good social relationships, you know, with your family, with your friends, people at school, people at the workplace, people in your community of faith. So it's so important for us to find time to invest and to interact with people. It's also important for us to recognize that, you know, mental illness can affect anyone in the community, anyone in our family, and that when we're not doing well, it's so important for us to seek help very early. I know we live in a society where there's a lot of negative attitudes, high level of stigma towards mental health and mental illness, but it's so important for us to, when we're having problems, when we're having difficulty, be it not sleeping well or struggling at the workplace, difficulty studying at school, or problems relating with others around us, indicate that we're having some mental health challenges, yes? And when these things are happening to us, it's important for us to seek professional help early. And in seeking professional help, it's so important that we choose people who are adequately trained, because there are lots of people who are out there practicing who are not adequately trained, and they can give us wrong advice, treat us in inappropriate ways. We're also living in a world, you know, post-pandemic, after the pandemic, where we've seen a surge in mental health problems, especially among young people. Depression, suicidal ideation, problems adjusting to school and so on. And we're seeing it, you know, based on the number of persons who are, young people who are coming forward for help. And what I want to advise parents, family members, teachers and so on, to recognize that our young people are having mental health challenges, and when they present, let us listen to them, respond to them in a non-judgmental manner, and most importantly, encourage them to seek help very early. It's very important, you know, because too many young people have found that they have not been able to achieve their goals in studying or career goals because of mental illness and not having gotten treatment early in their illness. So I encourage us, you know, encourage our young people, support them to seek help when it's necessary.
Keeping children engaged at home, especially during school breaks, can be challenging. However, with a little creativity, you can turn downtime into fun time. Here are some ideas.
Schools are closed and you're seeing more of your children. I get it. The idea of being cooped up with them all day can be daunting or overwhelming. But there's hope. In a moment, we will share a host of engaging activities for your children while they're at home. Structure and regularity are good remedies for manufacturing calmness in times of distress. So here's a structure for a child. Let's start with creating a schedule that lays out time for study, chores, eating, of course, fun activities, and downtime. Incorporate new gaming activities into your child's routine, like puzzles and game boards such as Monopoly and Ludi. Charades and ABC Fast and Slow, Chinese Skip and Jump Ropes are also entertaining games that have the added benefit of getting them moving so that they're exercising without even realizing it. This works better for younger children. They are attracted by a range of colors and experiments. So how about you engage them with some drawings and paintings, bringing their artistic sides to life? Creating science projects is also a good way to work the minds while engaging your children. Music is perfect to get the young ones up and engaged. Plus, there are many studies suggesting that learning music helps children with their academics. Some musical games to explore include karaoke, musical chairs, and musical trivia. This is also a good way to teach them about their rich musical heritage. So here's the plan. Get a cookbook and get them involved. This could make them feel that they are making a valuable contribution to the family. As a parent, you'd already know the value in exercise and working out, so how about encouraging your children to create a workout routine, do some yoga or dance routine, and keep them moving. It might not be such a bad thing to allow your children to keep in touch with their peers or friends and keep a strong support network. If they wish to call or text friends and families, let them do so. Just monitor them. Socializing helps to regulate your mood and stay grounded, and that's as true for children as it is for adults. Some of these activities require the involvement of a responsible adult, but for those that do not, monitoring is still important for safety. Remember that different activities apply to different age groups, so ensure that you check on them in between all their playtime activities and ensure that all is going according to plan. Also, remember you can split the monitoring work between parents and/or older siblings. One parent or older sibling can monitor the children in the morning, while another person takes over in the afternoon. With that said, all the best.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining is urging all consumers to exercise caution when making purchases, especially during this busy season of increased spending. With rising food prices, we encourage you to visit the Ministry's official website at www.moa.gov.jm for the latest price updates. By checking the website, you can compare prices across retailers and make more informed decisions to get the best value for your money. While prices remain high, the ministry anticipates that as local production stabilizes, price normalization is expected between mid-January and early February 2025. Stay informed, save smart, and make every purchase count this season. We've reached the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.